When most people think about planting seeds, they think about spring. But what if I told you that some of the best planting you can do happens in November, when gardens seem to be shutting down for the year? November planting isn't just possible. For certain plants, it's essential. These seeds need winter's cold to germinate properly. Miss this window, and you won't get blooms or harvests next year, no matter what you do. Today on No Secrets Gardening, we're talking about the plants that demand November planting. These aren't optional timing suggestions, they're requirements. Plant now, and you'll be rewarded with early spring harvests and stunning flowers. Wait until spring, and you'll miss your chance entirely. If you want to get ahead for next year's garden, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's discover which seeds need to go into the ground, or into containers, this November, before it's too late. Why November? Understanding cold stratification. Before we meet our plants, let's understand why timing matters so much. Many seeds, especially those native to temperate climates, have a built-in safety mechanism. They won't germinate immediately after falling from the parent plant in autumn. If they did, the tender seedlings would die in winter. Instead, these seeds need a period of cold, called cold stratification, to break their dormancy. They must experience weeks or months of winter temperatures before they're ready to sprout in spring. When you plant these seeds in November, you're letting nature do the work. The seeds sit dormant through winter, experiencing the cold they need, then germinate naturally when spring warmth arrives. If you try to plant these seeds in spring without cold treatment, they simply won't grow. That's why November planting isn't optional. It's the only way to succeed with these particular plants. Number 1. Garlic, the essential kitchen staple. Garlic isn't grown from seeds, it's grown from cloves. And if you want to harvest garlic next summer, November is your planting window in most climates. Why November planting is crucial. Garlic needs a long, cold dormancy period to develop proper bulbs. The cloves you plant in November develop roots through winter, then send up shoots in early spring. By midsummer, you'll have full heads of garlic ready to harvest. Plant garlic in spring, and you'll get leaves but no bulbs. The plant won't have time to mature before hot weather triggers it to stop growing. How to plant it? In containers, use pots at least 8 to 10 inches deep. Garlic develops roots deep underground. Break apart a head of garlic into individual cloves. Use the largest cloves. Bigger cloves produce bigger bulbs. Plant each clove 2 inches deep, pointed end up, spaced 4 inches apart. Use well-draining potting soil. Place containers in a spot where they'll get full sun once spring arrives. Water after planting, then let winter rains or snow do the watering. Check monthly and water lightly if soil is bone dry. Quick tip: buy garlic for planting from garden centers or seed companies, not the grocery store. Grocery garlic is often treated to prevent sprouting, and it may not be suited to your climate. Number 2. Sweet peas, the fragrant spring bloomer. Sweet peas are beloved for their cottage garden charm and intoxicating fragrance. In mild climates, November planting gives you earlier, longer-lasting blooms. Why fall planting works? Sweet peas are cool-season annuals that hate heat. When you plant in November, seeds germinate slowly through winter, develop strong root systems, and burst into bloom in early spring, often a full month before spring-planted sweet peas. The plants are also stronger and more disease-resistant because they establish during cool weather. How to plant them? Use pots at least 10 inches deep. Sweet peas develop substantial root systems. Soak seeds overnight before planting to soften the hard seed coat. Plant seeds 1 inch deep, spacing them about 2 inches apart. Use regular potting soil with good drainage. Place containers where they'll receive full sun to partial shade. Water gently after planting. Seeds will germinate slowly over several weeks. Keep soil lightly moist, but not soggy through winter. Provide a small trellis or stakes for climbing when spring growth begins. Important note: this works best in mild winter climates where temperatures stay above 20 degrees Fahrenheit. In harsh winter areas, wait until late winter or early spring instead. Number 3. Spinach. The cold, hardy green. Spinach is one of the easiest vegetables to grow in November for winter and early spring harvests. The seeds germinate well in cool soil, and the plants tolerate hard frost. Why November is ideal. Spinach planted in November grows slowly through winter, providing baby greens throughout mild periods. When spring arrives, these established plants explode with growth, giving you abundant harvests weeks before spring-planted spinach is ready. Spinach also tastes sweeter when grown in cold weather. The plant produces natural sugars as antifreeze, making fall and winter spinach more flavorful than summer spinach. How to plant it? Use containers at least 6 to 8 inches deep. Spinach doesn't need much depth, but appreciates width for spreading. Plant seeds half an inch deep, spacing them about 2 inches apart. Use rich potting soil with compost mixed in. Place containers in full sun to partial shade. In winter, maximize sun exposure. Water after planting, then water whenever soil feels dry an inch down. Spinach needs consistent moisture, but not waterlogged conditions. Begin harvesting outer leaves when they reach 3 to 4 inches long. The center will keep producing new leaves for weeks. Gardening fact: spinach can survive temperatures as low as 15 degrees Fahrenheit once established. It's one of the toughest vegetables for winter container growing. Number 4. Larkspur. The cottage garden. Classic. Larkspur produces tall spikes of flowers in shades of blue, purple, pink, and white. It's a cool season annual that absolutely requires fall planting in most climates. Why it needs November planting? Larkspur seeds need cold stratification to germinate. They evolve to fall from the plant in autumn, lie dormant through winter, then sprout in early spring. Without this cold period, germination is poor or non-existent. November-planted larkspur blooms in late spring and early summer, creating tall, dramatic flower spikes that cut beautifully for arrangements. How to plant it? Larkspur can be planted directly in the ground or in large containers at least 12 inches deep. Scatter seeds on the soil surface and barely cover them. They need some light to germinate. Space seeds about 6 inches apart. Use well-draining potting soil or garden soil. Place in full sun to partial shade. Water gently after planting. Seeds will germinate in early spring when temperatures warm. Larkspur dislikes transplanting, so plant seeds where you want them to grow. Quick tip: larkspur often self-seeds, meaning once you plant it, you may get volunteers returning year after year without replanting. Let a few flowers go to seed at the end of the season to encourage this. Number 5. Lettuce and arugula, the salad duo. Both lettuce and arugula are cool season crops perfect for November, planting in mild to moderate climates. They'll provide fresh salad greens through winter and early spring. Why fall planting succeeds. These greens germinate well in cool soil and grow slowly through winter, becoming established plants ready to explode with growth at the first hint of spring warmth. November-planted salad greens are less likely to bolt, go to seed prematurely, because they mature during the cool season, not during lengthening spring days that trigger flowering. How to plant them? Use containers at least 4 to 6 inches deep. These are shallow-rooted crops. Scatter seeds thinly across the soil surface and cover with a 1/4 inch of soil. Use rich potting soil. Place containers in full sun to partial shade. In winter, maximize light. Water gently after planting and keep soil lightly moist. In very cold climates, the plants will go dormant but resume growth during winter warm spells and in spring. Begin harvesting baby greens when leaves reach 3 to 4 inches. Cut outer leaves and let centers continue producing. Gardening. Fact: arugula becomes spicier as temperatures drop. November planted arugula has a peppery kick that's perfect for winter salads. We're halfway through our November planting list, and I hope you're already planning what to plant. If this information is useful to you, please give this video a thumbs up. And I'd love to know, what's your climate like? Do you have mild winters where you can grow through the cold months, or harsh winters where everything freezes solid? Share in the comments below. Your climate determines exactly what you can plant right now. Let's continue with 2 more plants that need November planting. Number 6. Pansies and violas. The cheerful winter bloomers. Pansies and violas are cool season flowers that bloom through winter in mild climates and are among the first flowers in spring elsewhere. November planting gives you the healthiest, most vigorous plants. Why November works. Pansies and violas planted in November establish strong root systems before winter. When planted, they're already in bloom or about to bloom, providing color immediately and continuing through winter in mild areas. Spring-planted pansies struggle because they're trying to establish roots during warming weather, which stresses them. Fall-planted pansies are already settled and ready to perform. How to plant them? Use containers at least 6 to 8 inches deep. These are compact plants that work beautifully in mixed containers. Plant nursery transplants rather than seeds. Pansies are slow from seed. Space plants 6 inches apart. Use rich potting soil with good drainage. Place in full sun to partial shade. Water regularly, keeping soil evenly moist, but not soggy. Pansies tolerate cold, but need consistent moisture. Deadhead spent flowers regularly to encourage continuous blooming. Quick tip: pansies can survive temperatures down to the single digits Fahrenheit. Their flowers may freeze and look dead, but when temperatures rise, the plant often produces new blooms. They're remarkably resilient. Number 7. Broad beans, fava beans, the spring protein. Broad beans, also called fava beans, are cold, hardy legumes that need fall planting in mild climates or very early spring planting elsewhere. November is ideal in areas with moderate winters. Why November planting matters. Broad beans need cool weather to set pods. When planted in November, they grow slowly through winter, bloom in early spring, and produce pods before hot weather arrives. Spring-planted broad beans often struggle because they're flowering during warming weather, which reduces pod set. Fall planting gives the plant a head start and results in much better harvests. How to plant them? Use containers at least 12 to 14 inches deep. Broad beans develop deep root systems. Plant seeds 2 inches deep, spacing them about 6 inches apart. Use rich potting soil with compost. Place containers in full sun. Broad beans need substantial light to produce well. Water after planting, then water whenever soil feels dry an inch down. Broad beans need regular moisture, but tolerate brief dry periods. Provide stakes or a small trellis for support. Plants grow 3 to 4 feet tall. Harvest pods when they're plump and full, but before they become tough and starchy. Gardening fact: broad beans fix nitrogen in the soil, meaning they take nitrogen from the air and convert it into a form plants can use. After harvesting, cut plants at soil level and leave roots in the pot. They'll add nitrogen to your soil for the next crop. Climate considerations. When November, planting works. November planting isn't universal. It depends on your climate. Mild winter climates, USDA zones 8 to 10. You can plant everything on this list in November. The weather is cool enough for seed germination, but not so cold that growth stops entirely. Moderate winter climates, USDA zones 6-7. Garlic, spinach, and fall flowers work well. Sweet peas and lettuce can work if you have protection. Broad beans are borderline. Try them and see. Harsh winter climates, USDA zones 5 and below. Focus on garlic, which needs to be planted before hard freeze. Everything else should wait until late winter or early spring. However, you can plant perennial flower seeds like larkspur in November. They'll sit dormant and germinate naturally in spring. Indoor growing. If you have a sunny window or grow lights, you can start lettuce, spinach, and arugula seeds indoors in November, regardless of outdoor climate. You won't get the cold hardiness benefits, but you'll get winter harvests. The key is understanding your local conditions. November in Southern California is very different from November in Minnesota. Adapt these suggestions to your reality. What if you miss November? Let's be honest. Sometimes life gets busy, and November passes before you plant. For garlic, you might still have time in early December in mild climates. After that, wait until next fall. For greens like spinach, lettuce, and arugula, you can succession plant through winter whenever soil is workable, though November plantings perform best. For flowers requiring cold stratification like larkspur, you have two options. Plant in late winter, February or March in most areas, and accept later blooms, or do artificial cold stratification. This means putting seeds in a damp paper towel, sealing them in a plastic bag, and refrigerating for 4 to 6 weeks before planting in spring. For pansies, nurseries sell transplants through winter and early spring, so you have flexibility. The point isn't to panic if you miss the window. It's to understand that November planting gives you advantages you won't get any other time of year. 7 plants that need November planting to reach their full potential. Garlic for summer harvests, sweet peas for early fragrant blooms, spinach for sweet winter greens, larkspur for cottage garden beauty, lettuce and arugula for salad bowls, pansies for cheerful color, and broad beans for spring protein. November isn't the end of the gardening year. It's a strategic opportunity. While most people are putting gardens to bed, you can be planting the seeds of next year's success. This is one of gardening's beautiful paradoxes. Sometimes you have to plant when it feels wrong, when logic says to wait. But nature has its own logic, its own timing. These seeds need cold. They need darkness. They need winter to become what they're meant to be. Trust the process. Plant these seeds now, then wait. Spring will come, and you'll be amazed at what patience and proper timing can produce. What will you plant this November? Do you have experience with fall planting in your climate? Share your plans and your wisdom in the comments below. And if you're committed to becoming a better, more knowledgeable gardener, please subscribe to No Secrets Gardening. We're here to help you succeed in every season. Thank you for your time today. Grow calmly, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy gardening!